Pelosi versus MNUCHIN. The big development today is that everything's on the table. Call Ethan Allen. We need a bigger table. It's just hazard pay back on the table. Multiple stimulus checks back on the table. Enhanced unemployment benefits to July back on the table. Steve Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi have taken too long. They've been doing this since July, and everyone's coming forward and saying, you know what, you're taking too long, so we're putting things back in. And ironically, we're heading closer to a third stimulus package, which was supposed to be done in the winter. And now there's a call to add more things in and get more things done. Go big or go bold. This is Pelosi versus Mnuchin. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Saturday afternoon, and this is Pelosi versus Mnuchin. And guess who's talking today? Yes, the hairdresser. No, it's Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin. They're still negotiating every single day. What type of ice cream you want? No, you got to negotiate with me. And what's great news about this is that everything's back on the table. For the first time ever, people are realizing this is taking too long. And by taking too long, people are asking for a lot more. And guess what we're going to start doing? Asking for more. Go to the front channel, subscribe. Because as a community, we're really getting through this together. As the comment in the video before, someone said, you know, LALATE, people are listening to the Purple Power. They're listening to you. You can see Mnuchin and Trump making changes based upon what you're saying. And you can see Blue Dogs and New Democrat coalitions and people like that making changes based upon the calls of the Purple Power. Amen. So become part of this community and subscribe. Also like this video. In this video, I'll be going over why Go Big, Go Home is actually turning into Go Bolder, as a lot of things are being added to the second stimulus package. You know, it's taken so long. We've been doing this since June. You know, negotiating over a thing that should have taken 2 weeks to negotiate. Now we're into October. A bill that was supposed to come 6 months ago. So now there's a push to put a lot of things back in that aren't in there or were in there that have been taken out. So in this video, I'll be going over what's back on the table and why ultimately people, including the Purple Power, should say, hold up, we're not going to support your darn bill unless you put this darn thing in there because we've waited too long for you. All right, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is you need a bigger table, so call Ethan Allen. You need a bigger table because everything's going back on the table. A lot of congressional leaders are saying, you know what, we're now in October, and you have not gotten this done, and I appreciate your work, but guess what? We need more stimulus. Ironically, Jerome Powell said this. Ironically, economists have said this. And what we understand now is that the current stimulus package, with everything working correctly, which is still not, but if everything was working correctly in the stimulus package, it may have worked in July as a bill. But as a bill in October, it's no longer functionable. It doesn't function to do stimulus. Well, it functions to give salary raises, of course, but it doesn't function to do stimulus. And so what's an understanding for the American people and the viewers of this channel is that as time goes on, you need a bigger stimulus package, or you need another bill, or you need multiple bills. Ironically, if you've been with this channel for a while, you understand that Steve Mnuchin originally said in July we would have 2 stimulus bills, not 1. Then there was calls by Jerome Powell that says, well, you need a lot of stimulus, folks. You need to spend 33% of U.S. GDP. You've only spent 15%. That was then, at that time, when, we had spent this amount of money. Well, time has passed and we still have spent nothing. Then there have been all the other analyst reports that say you need to spend a lot of stimulus as COVID-19 cases go up and as the fall kicks in. And then there's a concern that there's not enough stimulus if there's a lockdown in the winter coming into the spring. Bottom line is $2 trillion doesn't cut it. Bottom line is if you want this bill, Nancy Pelosi, to be your bill and become a law in March, it can't be. It needs to be $6 trillion because $2 trillion doesn't cut it. It won't do anything. It will be like dropping a little drip in a massive swimming pool and saying, hey, did I cause a tidal wave? No, you didn't do anything. It was a little drip. So multiple stimulus checks. more retroactive FPUC, bringing hazard pay back into the mix. All these things are now the vision, the push, and the emphasis of the Purple Power. Let's go over them. First, multiple stimulus checks. Pelosi versus MNUCHIN. She is on a desert island of one. She's currently at one stimulus check that's watered down as your solo stimulus check by the month of October. It's insane. It really is almost like a human insult. A very rich person who makes a lot of money wants to give you a $500 stimulus check as a veteran who served this country for 50 years, a $500 stimulus check to cover you from the months of April to November. How about filling up the gas in your truck for one gas tank? It's like $120. What does $500 do over 6 months? I mean, nothing. I mean, it's insane. Steve Mnuchin, on the other hand, higher stimulus checks, thank God, but only one stimulus check. He's at $1,200 for individuals, $2,400 for married couples, $1,200 for dependents, $1,000 for children. All really great, great, great news. But it's great news if it's a bill that puts you stimulus check in your hand in September or August or July. But if we have to wait to November, we have to wait to December, we have to wait to January, Senator Harris out of California, which is not a particularly cheap state to be in, it's just not a cheap state, said that when she first saw this $1,200 number appear from Nancy Pelosi in the HEROES Act in May, she slammed that number. $1,200. She said, what the hell is $1,200? It doesn't pay for anything. $1,200 for 1 month is not sufficient. $2,000 for 1 month covers that month, but it's not sufficient either. She said at that time in May that 30% of the U.S. population was facing eviction because they couldn't pay the rent, because $1,200 was not enough. That $2,000 for 1 month was not enough. That was May. Today, guess where we are? We're 6 months away. What did she say in May? She said we need $2,000 every month for 6 months, at least, or until the unemployment improves and the pandemic goes away. Where are we today? 6 months away. 6 times 2, $12,000. That's the minimum under the Harris-Sanders bill. Has unemployment improved? We're at 30-something weeks, the worst unemployment run since the Great Depression. Unemployment has not improved. It's not anywhere close to improving. It's at 868, announced every Thursday morning here on Early Mornings LALATE, and it's supposed to be at 200,000. This is new jobless claims per week. It's not even closed. At this point, the unemployment rate may not be improved, for a year if we keep at this rate. Third, are we close to the pandemic being over? No. Today, the pandemic numbers are the worst number of single new COVID-19 cases per day since July. So, on Harris's own words, which are absolutely wonderful words and wonderful analysis and wonderful economics, we should have had $12,000 in our pockets now, and we should be prepared to receive a lot more because unemployment is not improving and the pandemic's not going away. Okay, so this is October. Well, guess what March of next year is? 6 months from now. And if you sit back in your Nancy Pelosi and you're sitting in your beautiful Speaker of the House office in Washington, D.C., after a nice vacation at your $24 trillion house in California, and you say to yourself, I'm going to give people $500 for 12 months when the last stimulus check I gave them was in March last year, and I'm going to give them $500 as a single stimulus check for the last year that they've endured this pandemic. This is America. This is not a third world country. This is not a fourth world country. We're going to give you $500. It looks like a joke. You can say every reason of why that's so illogical. You could say that this is a person that term limits should be in place. The number is so out of touch that what you need to understand is that multiple stimulus checks are needed. Also back on the table, hazard pay. Hazard pay is needed because hazard pay is frontline workers. And as we see the pandemic roaring its ugly head of a second round, a big ugly round of COVID-19 coming in the winter, highest number of new COVID-19 cases since July, this today, well, you need hazard pay. When we had the first hit of the pandemic, people got hazard pay for their employees, bonus pay. This time around, those employers generally don't want to pay it. Unless you're Home Depot, Lowe's, or the major companies like Walmart and Amazon, they're not paying hazard pay or bonus pay. So what are we going to do? We're going to put all these people back into the workforce in the worst wave of COVID-19 in the fall and not pay them hazard pay? And not pay them hazard pay for the first time around. That's not going to work. $10,000 hazard pay. $10,000 is how much they're owed. Hazard pay was taken out by Nancy Pelosi in the latest version of the bill. It needs to be put back in. So as we sit here today, Purple Power, a couple things to do. First, need to get hashtag MSC pushed. Second, need to get hazard pay pushed. Third, need to focus on FPUC revised. FPUC should be retroactive to late July. My deep concern, as I've started to say in these videos in the last 24 hours, is I'm worried that as time goes on, that people may ultimately say, we'll do FPUC retroactive, for a week. We'll do it retroactive for a month. I've been waiting for my retroactive FPUC since July. So why are you now pushing me retroactive for, 24 hours? It's just like, hello. I sense that's on the horizon. Let me answer some of the incredible questions from yesterday. Amy, they better announce in the morning that they have a deal and Nancy better step down. Well, they didn't. Randy Pierce, how do these people sleep at night knowing that there are thousands of people that go to sleep with no food and shelter? Completely disgraceful. They don't care. They don't care. They're elected officials. They absolutely do not care. Dina Lays, they need to raise our stimulus checks. MSC. Patty Smith sounds greedy. She won't give it more. They should give us $2,400. Kathy Harriman, bring the Senate and House back and remove her. Charlie, since Trump wants more money, he can pay all the back 1,200s from April to October. This is a comment 12 hours ago. If you did not watch the video, 2 videos before this, I said Trump should do 3 stimulus checks right now. He has the money for it. Michael Moreno. Okay, if they're going to go up $2 trillion, why don't they give us more $2,000 checks every month? If they're going to go up that high, they can afford to give us more checks. $1,200 is not going to help them. It's like we all have a Vulcan mind melt here. We all say and think the same thing. To make it even simpler, $800 billion unaccounted for that needs to be repurposed. Put that $800 billion into the $2 trillion bill, so that's $2.8 trillion, and use the $800 trillion for 3 stimulus checks. See how simple things are? Nut and crackers. If this bill gets bigger, the people should get more money, not political pay raises. Amen. Christina, probably because she won't take it. Linda, when Pelosi has this much hatred in her heart towards our president, she's the one hurting everyone. Brenda, Trump knows where he's taking this train. Nancy missed hers. Tamara, these people want $3,000 checks and back pay from April. Amen. AR Marvin, Pelosi doesn't make sense. Everyone else knows that. Christina, if Gucci doesn't take the MNUCHIN's deal, it'll be a revoke of biblical styles. Fidel Hernandez, the president should go up to 2.1 trillion and see what happens to the Temple Doom. Donna Pierce, I think he should. That's a very good comment. Donna Price, President Trump better make America do executive orders right away. Feast Manuel, fingers crossed. Aaron Haskins, I'm going to start doing a dance called the McConnell. To do the dance, you flop around on the ground just like you barely survived getting ran over by a full cement truck. James Jordan, incumbents out. Don't believe their games. Who's a scratch? They should do 2.3 trillion and give bigger checks. Even better, just do 2 trillion and repurpose the $800 billion of the first stimulus package. That accounts for 3 stimulus checks. Wayne Nation, Nancy's playing games with people's lives. Kimberly, $1,200 is such an insult. Mark M, Nancy fiddles with while Rome burns. Robert Vincent, but the stupid Republican Senate will shut it down. Untrue. Watch McConnell versus Trump. I want you. That's simply untrue. McConnell will approve a Trump bill. That is a false narrative. As always, go to the front of the channel, subscribe, because we're going to get through this together. We absolutely going to get through this together. And please, please also hit that alert button so you get an alert when a new video goes live. Also, like this video. Coming up next is Evenings LALATE. Please stay tuned because I'll have big developments about hashtag MSC. Big developments, so stay tuned starting at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. As always, stay smiling, stay focused, and stay at LA for more.